All right. Hello, world. Thanks for joining us today. This is TrueProp's second ever Instagram Live. We want to welcome everyone. So far, our Instagram experience has been pretty successful, and we plan to host more of these live events with everyone here. It's a great way to reach some people that we haven't spoken to before and share experiences. So we're going to talk about computerized propeller scanning and inspection and propeller repair. So if you missed our previous interview, you can find it on our Instagram Reels page. I can't thank Gabe from Precision Propeller enough for joining us. The date was January 12th. Precision Propellers in Newburgh, New York, and they helped us kick off this series. And so Gabe and I, we went through and we were discussing how we converted his old PropView 3 system over to TrueProp so that he kind of had a modernized solution to keep that system going. And Gabe was focusing on, pleasure boats, motor yachts, loopers, things like that. So today we've got another good one for you. We're going to move on from the East Coast over to, the Mid Coast, specifically Missouri. So if you're not familiar with the lakes of the Ozarks or Lake of the Ozarks, it's a pretty incredible and large interconnected lake system. And the boating industry there is really unique. So we'll be interviewing George Peter from Cool Breeze Propeller in Osage Beach. And he uses TrueProp with his Linden DDS scanner, and that pairs with his Prop Press 360. So without further ado, let's get George on the line to discuss, propeller repair and specifically computerized propeller repair with TrueProp. So just give me a moment here. I'm going to try and loop George in. Cool Breeze Marine. All right, we'll just give him a minute here to jump in. Maybe I hit the cancel button. So while we're waiting here for George to jump in, for those who haven't heard, TrueProp is used to inspect propellers and determine geometric quality. So the software ensures that each individual blade is matched within the specified manufacturer's tolerance. For non-boaters, you can kind of think of this like the balance and alignment on your car. So you want to make sure that, everything for the sake of the way the car performs, the sake of the way it steers, the sake of the bearings and the drive line, you want to make sure those wheels are stable. And I just got a post saying unable to join. So maybe we can get Danielle here to figure out what's going on. She can send me a quick message. But yeah, so just like the wheels in your car, the propeller is the same critical link. So if the propeller's out of balance, it's going to, hurt the shaft and the bearings upstream of it. It's going to cause wear and tear. It's going to cause vibration, noise. And we want to make sure and that's just kind of, the imbalance issues. There's also kind of the individual loading on each blade. So if we have blades that some are high and some are low, or some are twisted, to a higher angle or less of an angle, that's going to really impact the loading on each blade. You'll have some blades that are, carry more thrust than the others. And, those eccentric loads, also lead to vibration, noise, non-optimized performance. So we want to make sure all the blades are exactly right. Now, the other thing that we want to make sure is that the blades are the right pitch. So, typically when you have a boat, you may have replaced engines or something happened, you got a new propeller. If the boat's not able to reach its rated RPM when you put the throttles all the way down, we need to adjust that. And the easiest way to adjust it, or a lot of times the easiest way to adjust it, is with the propeller. Now, either adjusting the propellers geometric pitch up or down, maybe trimming diameter. There's a variety of things we can do to get RPMs back up. The software and the scanner that George is using and that I'm using and that we develop allows you to scan across the surface of each blade. You can see behind me the picture of the propeller. So each of those lines, the colored lines, are kind of a scan line that we take across each blade. So we take a variety of lines from the root up to the tip of the blades. And each line, we want to make sure, we want to check the angle of those lines. We want to make sure that the value, which we call pitch, the angle of the blades, we want to make sure that that is matched between each blade, and overall that the average of the propeller is right for the boat so that the boat can make those RPMs. So we might adjust that average number up or down in order to correct a performance issue. And just bear with me for 1 second. I'm just going to check in and see if we can get George on the line again. So I'll send the invite out to Cool Breeze Marine. Maybe he did it under Got Props. So it sounds like they're chatting behind the scenes here to get George to jump in. She's going to give him a call and we'll see what happens. So keep saying Cool Breeze is unable to join. So I'm not sure if that's on me or not. You know, we're kind of new to Instagram. We're figuring it out. Appreciate everyone joining in and bearing with us. So what's going to be really interesting about George when we get him in here, he's going to show us his scanner, which is kind of purpose-built for TrueProp. It was designed by Gary Linden out of Dubuque, Iowa. He has a propeller repair shop there that focuses a lot on the boats that work on the Mississippi River there. So a lot of work boats, you know, pleasure boats, motor yachts, things like that. He developed kind of his own scanning system, which has an arbor. So you place the propeller down on an arbor. It kind of mimics the shaft of the propeller. That makes it so that your scanning system is aligned completely straight, so that, you know, just like the propeller sits on the boat shaft, it's going to sit on this arbor the same way. That gives you like a very true reading when you're taking your scan. Now, the other side, you know, the other way it might be done is by using a set of cones to kind of hold the propeller in place. You can kind of see that on this little model that we have here. So on the bottom here, there's a lower cone. That way it fits, you know, a variety of different propeller bores. If you get any sort of misalignment from the propeller sitting on that cone, you know, you'll get different pitch readings in each blade. So if you have this arbor system that George has, it's going to, view request, I see it here. If you have the arbor system, it's going to have that alignment already set up for you. And that's, oh, good. Hey, George. So it's probably my fault. I was probably inviting the wrong account here. We'll give him a minute here to get settled. So I'll just continue kind of describing how this system is different. So the arbor system allows you to work on the propeller, you know. So
all right, man, they make this stuff easy, don't they?
You know, not for us. I think the kids are pretty good at it, but you know, we're struggling. I can see your camera, and I just heard you.
Okay.
Great. Well, you know,
I got a point. I got a point in the wrong way, but we'll figure that out in a second.
Yeah.
Let's go like this. There we go.
Good to see you.
Good to see you, buddy. How you been?
Been good. I've been just rambling about kind of how the prop press and the Linden system are a bit different than the last the Prop View 3 that we went over in the last Instagram Live. So why don't we get right into it? Why don't you introduce yourself, tell us about your shop, give us a little tour.
Okay, we'll roll through that real quick.
George, sorry, we lost you. Oh, never mind. It's just delayed. It's all good.
Yeah, it is. It's delayed. Okay, so my name is George Peter. I am the owner, along with Dorothy, my wife, Dorothy Peter. Where is she?
Hi.
Of Cool Breeze Marine, the prop specialists. We're located here in Osage Beach, Missouri, at Lake of the Ozarks. If you've all watched Ozarks recently, it ain't the same, but it's close. I'm going to turn the camera around. There we go. All right, so this is where my wife Dorothy sits. She's the girl that will take you in every single time, and when the props come in, they come to this table, and then she writes you up. We have lots of goodies that she likes to print. We have a large selection of Mercury demo propellers. We are dealers for almost every prop brand you can think of. The props they start here, they go out there, they end up here, and then they're gone. It's just that easy. Anyway,
yeah, nice clean intro.
This is where this is basically all new stock. Up there's a couple of thousand in used stock. Out back, we have about 5,000 propellers. So the props come in. There's a vibratory polisher. You all know what that is. We have over 600 pitch blocks. Lots of tables. This is where they get pitched. We have, from the very large down to the very small. This is one of the most important tools ever in any shop. After they get pitched out, then this is for your regular props. Then they're going to come around to here. They're going to be going to the welding station. And then they go into the grinding station. We have downdraft tables. We got ventilation systems up high. And then from there, they will go into the balancing area. That's static balancing area. This is where we do our hubs if we have to do our hubs. Pretty quick. Shipping and receiving.
Seems like, how many square footage is your shop?
7,500.
Yeah, nice. It looks like you got a lot of space. And how many props do you think you're doing a day?
As many as possible.
Nice. Some easy and some not so easy, I'm sure.
Right. Like here we have, here's a pile of aluminum. By the way, these things here on wheels, those are dish carts from food services. They put bowls and things down in here.
Yeah.
And anyway, and they got these posts, and they're great for moving lots of props around in a small area. So anyway, there's
you got a lot of props to move, looks like.
Yep, that's all. Yeah, it's tons of stainless. And this is more our inboard area. This is where we're heading. I just got this from Gabe. Dynamic balancer. Works great. Thank you, Gabe. Still trying to figure it out a lot, but what the heck? There's a lot to it. Anyway, this is our inboard area. The inboards will come in here. Most of them are too big to go through the main door in there. So they get dropped off here. And then if we can lift them, we throw them on the prop press. And if we can't, then I've got a crane up here that picks them up and sets them down on it, and that'll slide all the way across and put it on the balancer if I want it to.
Nice.
So, yeah, I thought about it a little bit. And other than that,
and how long have how long have you owned the prop press system now?
3 years now.
Yeah, I was looking. I checked emails. It looks like we were back to like 2018 sometime.
Maybe 4 now. I really have to check, but yeah, I think it's 4 years. Time flies. Okay, I think we're gonna go back to this.
And so you bought your press system and the TrueProp software and the scan all together, and they're all an integrated package, or they're kind of like an add-on to the package that Gary Linden offers.
Yeah, what happened was the propellers that started coming in kept getting bigger and bigger, and we decided that we had to do something, to get these props fixed and fixed correctly. And so I started looking into, I'm not liking this, but started looking into, ways to improve this shop. And then, of course, ran into Gary, and I researched his machine. I researched other machines that were similar, other software systems, other, scanning systems, things like that. And this all made the most sense to me. So I think I need somebody to hold my camera. I don't know how Gabe.
I mean, it's been great working.
How Gabe was getting such a good picture with his camera, but I'm doing horrible.
I was trying to figure out how Gabe had his camera so well too. I was like, he must have had like a stick or something, or he's got long reach.
I have no. Well, Gabe's pretty good at that because I watch a lot of his videos, so he's actually mastered this, and I guess I need to spend more time doing this stuff. But anyway, so. I did put a lot of time into, looking into systems. This system was the easiest to use, the most economical that I could find, and it made the most sense. And he was close by. I knew that if I had any problems or issues with this machinery, that it would be easily handled. Mm-hmm. So service after the sale was a big point. That was a huge factor also in my software decision with TrueProp, is that, it's 21st century technology. It's I believe that service after the sale is what I was looking at. I figured you guys will be around for a while. And what I was getting out of the other guys is that they couldn't get any, if something broke or they were having problems with their software, they were having problems getting any action out of the guys.
And it's a big part of our kind of core philosophy is opening up things a little bit, being compatible with all different devices, and Gary came to us because he couldn't get software basically for his system. He built a really nice. This press system is absolutely beautiful. The scan arm we'll see in a minute, is a nice little add-on that drops on. But obviously, these devices that everyone has, whether it's new or old, you've got a structure, you've got some outputs, and if you don't have software to run it, it's a giant paperweight essentially. So. We work really closely with Gary and all of Gary's customers, like George, who have these press systems and these scanners, to kind of make sure that what we're building, fits their workflow, their process, that the output's reliable, accurate, checking all the boxes as far as, the criteria and the quality of the repair.
Okay, I'm trying here. I'm going to go like this.
Pretty close.
I'm close, aren't I? How about?
It looks
That's
good.
almost there. Yeah, now will it stay up?
Now we probably won't really be able to see the software screen, but we'll be able to see the scanner and whatever else you want to show us.
Okay, well, I can.
I think it's just
That's
like
actually
a focus issue with the TV. Mine's kind of the same way. If I lean out, it'll focus up there. But
go like I'll go over there. It looks better, or I can just do this. All right. So let's start off with what we do here. You know, we grab a prop, select the proper mandrel. This is a 30-inch Veeam by a 30-inch by 34 Veeam star, and it has a 2.5-inch shaft. So I select the. Come around here. You select the what mandrel you want. Each one is on a tapered mandrel. That's what I love about this system is it fits tight.
yeah, and I was trying to explain kind of the advantages of that over the cone system. That, you know, the alignment of that bore, how it sits on the shaft, you want to mimic that, capture that with your scan. And you know, if you're using cones, it's not that you can't do it. It's just you get a ding in the, you know, the edge of the bore, you get a chip or something in there, and ding on the cone. You know,
It does. Yeah. Using this, it doesn't mar the bore at all.
That's also true. Yep, big advantage.
So there's no filing. You're not crushing the keyway. You're not, you know, anything like that. And what's really great is the reading that you get are constant. This thing is always in the middle of the shaft, and it doesn't move. It does not change.
Mm-hmm.
Because you never remove it from the workpiece.
Yeah,
now,
and you can work off that arbor, correct? You can hammer on that. You can use the hydraulic ram on there. That's another advantage. You know, you can do that in a cone system. Got to take it out of the cones, move it over. So you're able to basically keep that propeller right in that spot, change pitch, work on it, remeasure it, and then without having to lift it up, without having to use the crane or the carts, it just stays there. So
yeah, once it's bolted in and it fits down on this taper just like a prop shaft, so it's you can't spin it. You lock that sucker down. Pardon me if I use some language that isn't appropriate, but I will. Anyway,
we'll just say
that locks down. And you can just, you know, beat the heck out of this thing all you want. And it's not going to go anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing that's nice is we have this setup there that goes in there. This is kind of
like a quick drop rod check.
Yep. Manual. Lets you just sit there, you know, check tracking real quick.
Check the edge heights before getting into it too much.
Yeah, because sometimes there's, you know, it's so bent, there's no need to even scan it until you beat it down or you press it down a bit, you know, to even get it close. So this way you can slide this in and out, you know, get it close, check things, and then get rid of it.
So you've basically added in a little layout table on top there. That's pretty clever. Nice job. I haven't seen that yet. That's cool. Have you told Gary about that?
Gary made that for me.
Oh, wow, great.
I requested it. I said I need. That's a great thing about Gary too. Is Gary on here?
I'm not sure if he's watching, but he might be. But we'll have to get him on to talk about some of that stuff.
The great thing about Gary is, since, you know, and other prop guys, is we can say, this is what I need, this is what I want, and he's like, no problem, let me come up with something.
Yep.
And this is what as soon as I got the prop press, I said, hey, I don't want to have to scan this prop every time I want to know what I'm looking at. I want a manual gauge so that I can rough this thing in and then bring my scanner down. And he's like, I gotcha. So he made one for him and he made one for me. And it's a great tool. And anything that I've asked Gary to make, I said, you know what, I need this or this, to specialize or to suit the things that I'm doing in my area and the way I do things. And it gets done.
Yeah.
So I'm digging that.
So that way you're not wasting time, doing a detailed scan when you're just trying to really move stuff and get stuff started. Good. That's cool.
Right. Because like this blade here, we know that's, I could say that that's not really bent. That one is. Yeah. So I'll set that gauge up to go right here, and then I'll bend this blade until it tells me that it's basically the same. And the same with this one. And then I've got all 4 blades that are relatively close. And then they're just a few hammer taps away from being perfect.
Mm-hmm. And what are you repairing like one of these propellers to? Like a class 1.
Class 1.
Yep.
Yeah, everything in my shop is a class 1 or better. That's how we sell it. Like when we're a Michigan Wheel distributor, and then and not even Michigan Wheel, any propeller that comes in brand new, inboard wise, I take it out of the box, I put it on my scanner, I scan it. I throw their scan away, and I sell them with TrueProp scans. And the wheel is brought to a class 1 before I sell it to any customer. So you buy a new wheel from me, you're getting a better than new wheel.
Yeah, it's nice that you rework them a little bit, and then you also have that scan saved for the future. So if they ever do, get into some trouble and get a damage on their prop, you can go back to that scan and use that as a starting point.
Grab that, and also that when they go and put it on their boat and they still have a vibration, I can say, hey, I scanned this just before you put it on your boat. I know, and I checked the balance too, and I know this wheel's straight, so you need to be checking something else. Mm-hmm. It's not the prop that came out of the box.
Yeah.
And so that's a good selling point.
I know it's pretty common in the industry, just the marine industry in general, to kind of blame the propeller first. It seems like, the noise, the vibration, it's got to be coming from the prop, but there's so much upstream with struts, bearings, shafts being straight, misalignment, bends, you even got engine mounts, you got stern tube bearings. There's a lot more that can go wrong. And I've even seen vibration, heard stories of vibration coming from the wrong keys being installed, props not being pushed up all the way on the taper and things like that. So, they get key bound. It's certainly nice to be able to eliminate the blades as the issue and have a lot of high confidence in the repair with, it's on the shaft, on the tapered shaft, as it's going to sit just on the boat. So you could pretty much eliminate a lot of those issues.
We've actually we send along tutorials to our marinas on propeller installation. How to install the nuts properly, things like that, and it's they enjoy that because now we know everything's getting done right, and it's eliminating a lot of problems.
Yeah, a prop nut's a very expensive thing to get wrong.
Well, and you would be amazed that almost every, and not so much anymore, but for a couple of years there, almost every single boat that was getting pulled out, the nuts were on backward. And so, but we noticed that after we started talking to our marinas and saying, this is kind of important here, they did change. We probably look like, smarties there for a minute, we're trying to tell people what to do, but I think after a minute they appreciated it.
Yeah, for sure. Less trash on the bottom when the nut falls off and the prop is on the bottom of the ocean. Putting the nut on one way or the other is going to matter eventually. Hey, can you show us how his scan arm kind of attaches into the board there?
Sure. Let me set this up and then.
Yep. Don't let me rush you. I got the easy job, I guess, right now. I'm like the MC.
Okay. Well, I'm going to start off with the first thing we do with this, of course, is you put all the information in. You know, which is nice. It stores everything for you. It tells you whose it is, what it is, and what it started off with. And then we'd go to scan. And I'm going to hit add. I'll leave that there a minute.
So he's adding a new scan to the history. He's got a couple previous ones there.
Actually, I started one to make sure that everything was going the way it was supposed to. There's no scan yet.
Cool.
A little higher. You can see there's a scanner way up there, but it's going to come over. Put a right hand on. The right hands I get to sit down and do. This swings over here, comes down. If you have a really high rate propeller, you can actually set that in there, and this taper sits in there, and so it's.
So you can offset the arm a little bit.
Yep. It's very versatile. There's a lot of things that can be done with this. There's an offset pin in case you want to start out here. You can here if you need to reach under for major overlapping blades. Pointer goes there. Do it in the back too. So anyway, so blade one. Start off by centering it. As you can see, once this is in, it's actually in the center of the prop shaft. It's in the center of the prop, and this will never move or change or fluctuate in any way. This becomes part of the whole thing.
Yeah, I think Gary says it's a tapered thing, so a Morse taper, so kind of fits in wedge.
So then we're going to hit home, which centers it on the screen. Can you see that?
I can see it a little bit, yeah. The black background actually is a lot better, the dark background, so we can see a little bit of what's going on. At least we can see the right side of it, yeah.
Okay.
I wish I could make this. I wish I could get myself out of here and give you the full screen. You know, slide this up.
Get rid of yourself, huh? Guys, I'm going to slide this thing out. First thing it does is it hits the 40. And so the 40, lock it, unlock it. That's my piece I added because I like it.
So you got a little bit of feedback about where the radius position, you know, where you need to take the scan from.
I'm sorry, say it again.
Oh, I was just explaining what the little box that pops up that says 40 is on the screen. The beeps are nice and loud on your computer.
What's that?
The start and stop beeps are nice and loud. So you press the keyboard to start the scanning, then press it again to stop, or a keyboard button or a foot pedal.
I have the pedal, and I Velcroed it up here because that's where I like it. And I have my stereo into a stereo, or my computer into a stereo surround sound. Because if I'm doing this and nobody's here, I will turn some music on.
Everything's better with music. So now you've already done a couple radii, right? You're about halfway through already. And I'm not sure if people can see it. I can see it just barely, but I can see the colors for each blade coming up on the screen. So you'll notice that's kind of the inspiration behind the TrueProp logo here. So as he goes through, blade 1's going to show up in blue, blade 2's going to show up in red, and kind of so on and so forth. Kind of helps you identify, you see a number that's out and it's in blue. It's okay. Oh, that's blade 1.
I'm probably going a little overboard, but I figured I'll do a lot of radii here for you guys, so you get to see it rather than just doing 3.
Less work you'll have to do later, right?
Well, initially you want to hit all the radii, because you want a full picture of the prop. You want to know you don't want to miss anything. And then after that, I'll do this, and then while I'm adjusting it, I'll only hit 3 radii. I'll hit the 50, the 70, the 90 while I'm working it. And then once I know I'm really close, then I'll go back to doing, 6 radii, 7. Depends on, how accurate we want to be.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is that, if I do a full class 1, a lot of these boats that have been out there for years have never had a class 1 prop on them. And these guys don't know how to act when they get a boat that the bow rail doesn't shake anymore, and it has for 15 years. The fuel economy goes up. They actually gain 2 miles an hour, and you're not supposed to gain miles an hour on a 15-year-old boat because they don't get any lighter, do they?
Nope, that's true. They inevitably get heavier over time.
But it happens over and over. When the prop is done, you wouldn't think it makes a difference, and I didn't either. I thought, what's the difference between a 3 and a 1? Well, the big difference.
And it's just like any industry. There's different degrees of quality. And I'm not knocking anybody, but different manufacturers hold different tolerances, and there's Lamborghini, and then there's BMW, and then there's Toyota, and then there's Hyundai. You know what I mean? In any industry, there's varying levels of quality. So, to bring something up, to improve it, you can feel these results. You
can't. Well, the way I tell people, it's like I tell them what I have is I have a really good tire gauge, and most of you guys are running around on say your tire's supposed to have 50 pounds of pressure. You guys have been running around on 30 pounds. So if I put the air in your tire and I use my tire gauge and I put exactly 50 in, you're going to get the fuel economy you're supposed to. You're going to get the ride you're supposed to.
Yep.
And when you put it in those terms, they really understand it. Then they're like, oh yeah, because I'm like, go take half the air out of your tires in your car, drive around. And they're like, why would I do that? I said, exactly. Why would you run around with?
I might have to borrow that analogy. That's a pretty good one.
So anyway, we just scanned all that, and I want to check it. And that is a 33.899, so she's still pretty close to her 34 that she's supposed to be. You can see 3 is out pretty good. I'm going to hit a reference. We're going to reference, we're going to hit just a scan. We're going to hit all 4 blades, so it averages them all. It's on auto. It is, the pitch distribution is variable on this prop, and it's a cambered face. It's a beam.
So you're setting up kind of what the design of the propeller should be, and TrueProp has some tools that it takes the data you scan, and he's scanning all the blades, and he's choosing to average blade 1, 2, 3, and 4 together to kind of get the middle of the road for where we want to move things. George, when you get that set up, can you grab the camera and just kind of bring it a little closer to the monitor so these guys might be able to see?
Yeah. All right, so that would be.
Yeah, so you can see he's including the very top of the screen on the left. He's got all 4 blades selected, 1, 2, 3, 4, to kind of create that, what the answer is from the data that we took.
Just do anything if I turn this sideways? No.
No, yeah, I tried the same thing. Now it's just sideways on our screen.
All right, so what we're going to do is, that's S-class. There was a class 1. That's what I'd have to change to make it a class 1. There, it's going to show me.
Yeah, you're going to have to rotate the camera. Sorry, George. It's perfect.
Like that?
Yep.
Okay. You want to just to go ahead and explain what you're looking at? That's kind of your end, man.
Yeah, sure. So what we're seeing here, again, each color is represented by a blade. So what we're graphing, each one of those scan lines, we worked, our way from the root in the picture, where my finger is. The root is that innermost circle. So we took that first blue line, measured it, got a pitch value, and then we compared it to the other 3 blades. So you get basically for each of those radiuses that we scan, we get a bar graph, and what we're visualizing is the difference in the measured angle of the blades, or we just call it pitch, in inches. So you'll see like that 40, is that a 40 radius in there or 50?
Well, it starts off with 40, goes all the way to 95.
Okay, so like the 50 radius, if you look at that 50 up close, it's really tight. Like each one is the same. So that radius looks pretty good. But when we look over at the tip on the right side, you can see there's a big discrepancy in basically the measurements between each individual blade. So blade 1 and 2 are blue and purple. They're pretty close. And the red one's also pretty close, but that green one, which is blade 3, that one's, really low in pitch. And that's the blade, I'm guessing, that has that big bend in it that you showed at the beginning. You can actually see how badly whacked that blade is. So that's why the bar graphs all look good and close kind of in the inside, in the root. But as we get over to the tip of the blade, we start to see that, nothing's quite tracking, and particularly the blade in green there, blade 3, that one's really, whack. We can see it visually, so it kind of just gives you a computerized version of what the shop guys can see, right on your prop. They can feel that, they can see that, probably repair it without the software. But this kind of tells the end customer how this prop came into the shop. And what George is going to do is he's going to keep working this. That blade number 3 is going to hammer it, use his hydraulic press to move that blade up so that next time he scans it, that green bars come closer to probably the other 3. And George, what you might want to do in this case is just exclude that 3rd blade from your average. So you're included all 4, maybe just uncheck blade 3. That, might just be more typical of what so this allows us to basically exclude blade 3 from the target. So we can just work mostly on that blade, let the other ones kind of stay where they are for now.
Yeah, that's generally what you don't try to correct all four blades. You take the worst one and you try to bring it up to the other three,
Yep.
and then as you bring the one up, the others come down because they average.
Yep. Yep.
And so really that's what you're doing right there is you're bringing that
That's
back up to these guys, and then this will pull up to there, and once they're all close, then you start nickel and diming them together.
Mm-hmm.
And then
what's the average of this wheel coming in? Like 38 or so? Or sorry, 34 you said?
It was 33.9 basically, and it's supposed to be a 34. So we're going to call this an easy wheel because it is damaged, yes, and it is shaking, but all the damage is out here, and for the most part, it's in pitch. We can check right here. You can see that that's all four blades laying on top of one another at the 40, the 50, the 60, the 70, the 80, the 90. That's where you see blade 3.
Oh yeah, it's hard for me to see with the half resolution, but I can see it on the bottom right of the screen how it lifts up there. Yeah.
That's that bend.
Yep. Yeah, that's great. When you zoom in like that, now we can all see. So we're looking at the path of the blade, kind of, almost like you're looking at the blade like that. So,
right. So you can see
the edge and the trailing edge. So right down here, he's seeing that lift up.
So what that's telling you is, for real, you only got to work from the 70 radii, 80, 90, and 95. That's where the prop's bad. You don't have to mess with the rest of this.
And it looks like a lot of it's on the leading edge too.
Yeah, it's a prop that shakes, but it's an easy prop to repair, at least as far as in my mind.
Yeah.
Here is all the blades going with one another, laid on top of one another.
Good.
Yep.
Again, all that damage is on that leading edge of blade 3, so the center line of the rake is probably okay.
And here, the skew is out because of that bend.
Yeah, it's kind of like crumpled up right there from the strike. Cord length is short as well.
Mm-hmm. When you straighten all that out, that'll all go away.
Go through this kind of, show and tell. See if I can get a little more light in here. It's winter in New England, so it's getting quite dark at 4:30 or so.
Yeah, it's winter here today. Yesterday it was about 55. Today it's not going to get above freezing.
Mm-hmm. So George, can you show us the report as well that you can generate from your scan, or do you want to you want to go through the rest of the screens that you use to repair?
Yeah, this is like so. Here's blade 1. You can see right here. It's telling me I need to correct that. I need to bring that down to that line.
Mm-hmm.
So it just makes it really easy to know exactly what to do. It tells it, here it says it's, how high it is, how much you got to move it. And then if you blade 2,
it's pretty good, I guess. It's okay.
Blade 3, there's the big one right there. To bring up. And that's the one we're going to start. As you start working that down, the others will actually move also because they're averaged.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And so you want to work the bad blade first and see what it does to the others. Sometimes you don't have to touch the others because you're bringing this one down to these.
Mm-hmm.
And so you don't work against yourself. There's a little learning curve on all this, but
yeah,
once you get it down, you can move along pretty quickly. And
there's like a couple strategies, that different TrueProp users have used, and some people go and just use one blade, like they repair one blade, and then they're just going to use like that one blade as their template for the others. What George is saying is he doesn't want to have to move everything, that he'll kind of go and move something first and then average them together. So he has to move each blade a little bit instead of having to move, one a lot or have just one good blade.
And let me see what we got here. Where is it? All right, and so want to answer one of these questions here that you guys had. We'll spin this back around.
Yeah, I was trying to see the question.
Damn, I got old.
I'm not sure I see any questions yet, but
oh, Danielle sent them.
oh, did she? Okay, maybe I see it. I still haven't figured this out yet on the computer.
Things like she asked, what's your favorite part of my job? The favorite part is the customer satisfaction.
Oh, yeah.
is the end result. And the toughest job that I've had lately, the toughest job is keeping this all running smooth. It's keeping all the balls in the air. And as far as what do our customers look for in propeller repair, they all vary. Some, on this lake, this is one of the biggest high performance lakes in the nation. But we do have we got everything here. I mean, it's people skiing, it's 50-foot sea rays and inboards. Boats shouldn't even be on this lake.
But during the off season, you've got just a ton of stuff, to prep for next year, right?
Yeah, it doesn't slow down. It doesn't, the weather doesn't make it. It just gets crazy in the summer, and then it does slow down to like where it's tolerable, where we can work like 40 hours a week like normal people. But it stays very, very busy. So I mean, a lot of our customers, they come in and all they want is to go faster. The cigarettes and of course the bass boats. And then the guys with the big boats, they're looking for better fuel economy and a smooth, quiet ride because they're entertaining. Mm-hmm. And then you've got the water sports people. They want, well, besides a quiet ride, they want just better pull and smooth. And so everybody wants something different, and the main thing that they all want is cheaper. And that's like 3 out of 4 ain't bad is what I tell them, because I ain't cheaper, and I don't try to be.
That's pretty funny. Yeah, I mean it's one of those things. There's people fighting to the bottom, but those aren't necessarily always the people you want to have working on your, whether it's a work craft or a pleasure boat. Boats are really expensive investments, so gonna spend all the money on the boat and then cheap out on the maintenance and the service. Not a great idea in my opinion, but
when we got the equipment, we got the TrueProp software, we thought, okay, we have to justify this purchase, so we're not going to be selling this technology cheap. We're just going to be selling it as the best that can be had, and that came back to us really, really quick. And main thing, we support and sing the praises of the software by everybody. That's why we figured, if we put everybody out at the class 1, then
they do a great job of getting the message out there and promoting us. We really do appreciate it. Try to repay the favor.
Well, that's what we're selling. Everybody that gets a prop done here, we give them their prop scans in a book to go along with their props, because actually if they go to sell their boat, they have the highest end wheels on their boat that a boat can get. So we've told them, welcome to the 21st century.
Yeah.
And we give them all a tutorial that you gave us so that they understand what is going on with these scans. Why do they have them? Why do we do this? So it's all explained to them. We're finding that educated customers are the best customers.
Yeah.
And
great.
So they will get a scan of their prop. The lowest we'll do is a class 1A, which is a class 1 on 3 radii. You can see this one's got nothing but S's and a couple of 1s. People are very happy to see that.
My tight bar graph's always good to see.
And we give them all 5 pages of the report for each prop.
That must be nice having that first first couple page explainer to help offload it. I know a lot of guys are just given the first page of the report, so they don't have as much to questions and stuff to answer. And I get it takes time, but it's great that you've used those documents to kind of tell that story, without having to spend an hour explaining to someone how to read a bar graph.
These guys sit around on their, I'm serious, they sit around on their dock or their dockaminium or their boats with their friends, and when they run out of stuff to talk about drinking the martinis, they actually pull this stuff out and they sell it for me.
That's nice.
It is. And then their guys come in, they're like, hey, I saw all this and all of that, and I'm like, yeah, we'll be happy to take care of you. And so educating the customer and giving them something tangible, something to look at, and letting them know that they've got the best wheels on their boat that money can buy. At first seemed a little nutty to me too. It seemed like overboard, but this is my wife's brainchild. This is Dorothy here. She's like, people want this and people want to know, and we're going to give it to them.
Yeah.
And so thank you, Dorothy, for making this happen. Because everybody
might be done, but we're getting there slowly, and our job is to kind of give you all the tools that you need to perform the highest quality repair analysis. Reporting, if you need detailed reporting like that and you think it's something that helps sell the repair, I 100% agree with you. I think there's a huge market for more detailed, people want to know about every bump and bruise on the prop. Some people do anyway, and so we're promoting that as much as possible, and great to see you promoting it as well.
What's nice is about all this, it gives me more information than I need, and I can keep talking on this subject with a customer or anybody until they say, shut the hell up. I don't want to know anymore, or you've answered my question, and I'm like, all right, good. They don't go away wondering.
Yeah, that's good what you're doing.
Other than that, is there anything else? Is there anything else you want to know?
I'll turn it over and just see. Well, not turn it over, but I'll just again prompt anyone. If you guys got questions, throw them in the chat here. We can take advantage of looking at George's device or his software or his repair process, his shop, his beautiful face. And if not, I'll just ramble a little outro and we can wrap it up at the hour point here. Good to see the stews on. And George, I forget, did we meet at NMPA, the National Marine Propeller Association, or did we meet down in Florida for a training? I kind of forget, but I know that we both gone to NMPA, and that's a great resource. I see a couple members here from the NMPA.
We met at the NMPA.
Yep. And pretty soon we'll probably be getting back there. Hopefully this year will be the year that we get to all reunite in Vegas, all the propeller heads.
Well, actually, right after this deal here, I have the NMPA meeting. So it's been kind of meeting day, I guess, and we're going to discuss that. We're going to among other things, the convention in Vegas. So we are, barring another 10 variants, we will be in Vegas.
That's great. Yeah, I mean, we did that in online format, and this Instagram format's pretty great to reach people. We got 11 people on now, and seen people pop in and out throughout the stream. But there's no, the exchange of ideas that happens out there. Getting in person, we sit through presentations and things like that. For TrueProp and for our sister company HydroComp, we usually host software training out there. So, great time to get 4 or 5 people in a room or more, as many bodies as we can. Usually helps bring the cost down on doing group trainings, and great way to learn something new, software. Get up to speed really quickly, or learn some tricks from the other guys in the room. There's so much knowledge there. Many generations of shop owners and propeller repair guys.
It's priceless, and yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing you at the convention too. If you're bringing the software, because there are so many things features on this that I don't even use because I don't know how to.
Yeah.
We can do so much more with the software, and if there's a couple of things that I've actually really needed, and of course I've asked, how do I do this, or how do I get away with this, or how do I do that? But I know there's a lot of stuff I'm missing, and some of the things I look at it and I'm like, I'm afraid to even start dabbling in because I don't know what I'm doing. But so I think that you could probably, if I spent more time with you personally, it'd probably open up a few new worlds on this for myself.
Yeah, we'll have to make it happen this year. This fall is going to be the year. Keep your fingers crossed. So what I'll do now is
one thing.
Go ahead. You got one.
I did. Have you ever put like the scanning arms side by side and scan the same propeller, on their different holders?
Yeah, I mean, I got a call from people doing that today. Inevitably, part of selling TrueProp is, initially, at least in the beginning when we were brand new, there was a little bit of skepticism of like, is it going to read the same as my other system? I do this with my other one? Am I going to be able to do this here? So, proving that to people sometimes requires literally scanning the same prop on one machine and then moving it over to the other. And, there's no exact 1-for-1 down to 1,000th of an inch, but basically all the trends, all the numbers you're getting out, are all the same trends, the same qualitative numbers. The differences are the same. What's the difference between two different devices might be like resolution. Some of it might be the way the software reads things. And the biggest one in repeatability is probably start-stop position. Like, did you put it right on the nose? Did you roll over? You went up to the cup, or did you go to the top of the cup? Did it fall off a little bit? Some of that stuff can affect the, comparing two measurements. And then we've been talking about the bore. So Gary's scanner is the only scanner that uses that mandrel. So when you go over to the other ones, now it's like, well, if we just scan this same prop on this system twice, sometimes it's not exactly the same. So, okay, now these qualitative differences, how close do the numbers have to be where we're like, okay, we've always been able to get there with almost everyone. So, and the people that we're not able to get there with is just because it's probably like a budget issue, or it's in the plans, or, there's still some kinks. It's not like it's not giving the right numbers out. So scanning 1-to-1, you can do it. The average number is going to be, very, very close. The individual numbers are going to be really close as well, but not exact down to an absolute, 0.00.
Yeah, there's no way they're exact, because it's like when you get brand new props in and you scan them. The Linden DDS is more accurate. It's almost it's a pain in the ass sometimes. It's so accurate.
Well, it's certainly newer. At a minimum, it's newer, built more recently. I mean, so I know people running pitchometers 20 years old, 25, 30 years old. You can't tell me that.
So it's always going to be, it's different scan that you get when you get the new prop in.
Sorry, what'd you say, George?
It's different from the scan than when you get the new prop in, because you can get a prop. I can get a prop in from a company and it says it's a class 1, and I scan it and it's a class 3. Yeah. So I have to tighten it up.
That one was made on Friday.
Or it was dropped, or you never know.
You never know.
But I sold somebody a prop in a box, an inboard prop in a box once, and it came back to bite me in the ass because I think that one got dropped or something. And so from then on, it's like these things are all coming out because I'm not getting that phone call again.
Yeah, and yeah, I mean that's the thing. It kind of comes down to your reputation at that point, and letting things out the door like that is not always an option for if you're selling something online. I think the expectation is a lot different than when you have a full service shop, and that's really a big. It's why you should always go to a professional propeller repair shop and not just go buy a prop offline, because who knows what you're actually getting. Not to knock
You don't.
any lines. I can't knock anybody. I'm trying to be as kind and nice as possible.
I I know the feeling. I have a hard time doing that. It's like, after I say things, I'm like, George, you shouldn't have said that.
This
But
is a rewind.
oh well, oh well.
All right. Well,
You know,
we're coming up. We're coming up on an hour here, so and there's no questions coming in the chat. But I'm going to just do a quick outro. You want to say anything before I kind of just wrap up and close it off?
I really just want to say thanks for the opportunity to do this. Thanks for, creating the software. It's really made a difference in my business. We use it every day. I don't know what I did without it. And best of luck to you. And I say we'll see you soon. Thank you.
Hey, George, can you give us how do people get in touch with you if they want to ask you questions? What's your website and email or whatever you want to get?
I'm really easy to find. Just go to gotprops.com. And just like it sounds, gotprops.com, like got milk.
Pretty good. Pretty easy.
Cool Breeze Marine, the prop specialists. We're in Osage Beach, Missouri at Lake of the Ozarks. But, easiest way to find us is Google gotprops.com. That, again, is Dorothy.
Yeah. Smart lady you got.
She came up with gotprops.com, and she even got the trademark on it.
That's
she has
awesome.
A government trademark for that. And it has brought us a lot of folks.
Yeah.
Loving that. But yeah, anybody that has any questions about TrueProp or the Linden prop press DDS system, anything like that, feel free to give me a call anytime, and I'll try to help you out. We also, since we have the ability to bend things that a lot of shops don't, we get shipped props from other propeller shops, bend them back into place, get them straight, and then we send them back to them, let them finish them. And we do all of our bending, I might add, without any heat, so that the props, when we repair them with the prop press, since we haven't heated them, we haven't disturbed the temper of the propeller.
Mm-hmm.
So
cold bend.
It actually, yeah. So when you get it, when a customer gets it back, it's really better than a new prop. It's got the same temper, the same strength. It was never heated, so it's not weaker. It's not going to change on its own. It's a better end product with the prop press.
Yeah, and that's great. That's and it's not everyone has that system, so big advantage for you guys. And yeah, so we'll follow up. We'll send out an email with links or something to check out the interview here on Instagram, and we'll give you George's contact information. For us, the easiest way to reach us is typically email. That's measure@truepropsoftware.com. Our website, truepropsoftware.com. There's a contact us page. You can fill that information in there. And then messaging us on Instagram, it's the new cool thing to do. So we'll try and respond to them. We got a message today or a video call from someone I didn't know even what to do. But this is the new world that we live in these days. So again, if anyone's interested in learning more about propeller inspection, computerized propeller repair, on our end we do the software layer that can connect to different devices. We're involved in extending the life of old pitchometers, converting old systems, helping people basically keep these machines up and running, or again, sourcing brand new equipment from people like Gary Linden Propeller, the system that George is running here. So in the future, we'll probably see a couple more devices, and We'll try and get Gary on at some point in the future. He can kind of go through his system and what he offers. It's really kind of unique, and he's kind of the only OEM TrueProp device maker. So yeah. So thanks, guys. Thanks for all your attention and your time, and look forward to hearing from you. And we'll do another one of these probably 2 weeks, 3 weeks. I'm not sure. All right. Thanks.
There's old Stu Foster. See ya. Thank you.
Half the gang's here from the NMPA. Thanks, guys. We really appreciate your support. Good to see you, and looking forward to doing it again.